This is a video that I'm recording, and I don't usually talk about this kind of stuff, personal stuff, on this channel, uh, and so I just feel that this is an event that I feel the need to talk about to y'all, but I'm going to try to do it in a way that's not self-indulgent, or anything like that. I want to talk about my mother. My mother just recently passed away at the age of 81. She had been ill for a little while. I'm not going to go into the details of the illness, but it progressed recently to the point where it was going to be terminal, and today was the day when her soul left her body. And of course, I'm very shaken up about it. My family is, my kids are, everybody is. Her, my father, most of all, probably. It's a sad event, a sad day. But I wanted to say something about my mother that I think is relevant to this channel. And I wanted to pay a tribute to her, that in a way that it had never really occurred to me to pay this tribute to her before. But the more I think about it, the more I appreciate it. Well, let me explain what I mean. My mother and I didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things, politically, theologically. She and my dad too, but I think my mom maybe more so, wasn't that comfortable with the ideological company that I was keeping, and it was a hard thing for both of them to sort of adjust to it, to say, this is our son, this is what he believes, these are the kind of people that he hangs out with. And it's my parents are what you'd call liberal. But here's the thing. I don't want anybody hating on my mom for being liberal, because here's the thing that she did that I'm so thankful for, and I don't think I realized that I needed to be thankful until now. As difficult as it was for her to process where I was coming from, and for my dad too, but more for my mom, I think. My dad kind of, they're different personalities, but I don't think it was as much of it was as difficult a thing to process for him as it was for my mom, for reasons that just relate to their personalities, basically. But in any case, in an age and a time where you have people who are liberal shunning routinely, all too routinely, shunning family members, including their own children, if they don't think the right way, if they don't believe the right things. That's a real problem on the left right now. And it became a particular problem after 2020. Again, I highly recommend reading, I know some of y'all won't like her because of her ethnicity, but she's a good one, I tell you. Naomi Wolf, when she wrote her latest book about, when she was a lockdown dissident. She was against the lockdown. She was against all the crazy dystopian things that they were doing. And her friends and family, and much of her family, thankfully not her mother, it seems, but to hear her tell it, she was basically shunned by everybody who she had thought were that she thought she was good friends with. And I talked about this in a prior video, where my review of her book, Facing the Beast. So it was a routine thing. It's been a routine thing ever since Trump, even though I've never been a Trump supporter per se. But for me, like when they became aware of my thoughts, and I've never been a Nazi, never been anything close to a Nazi or a National Socialist. Those of you who follow me know that. A race realist, maybe. But anyway, you just get lumped in with the most extreme and the most hated, and you might as well be a Nazi. When you go against the grain. Now, my parents are both, as I said, ideologically liberal. My mother particularly so. But she never shunned me. Never. It was not even a possibility. She loved the hell out of me. She loved me, even though what I was saying, the kind of things that I was writing about and so forth, even though those things were upsetting to her. And I think in my life, in her lifetime, during the time when I was aware of this, of the fact that my views made her uncomfortable, I think I always sort of just thought to myself, I always kind of pitied myself. I always just thought to myself, why can't my mom, be happy for me, whatever my views are, or I don't know. Why does it have to be so difficult for her? And it was, it was a loving, in the context of a loving mother-son relationship. I loved her. I still love her. She loved me. I'm sure that she still loves me, even if she's no longer on this plane. But I think I just thought to myself, I was just frustrated. I just like felt frustrated and misunderstood. And what didn't occur to me was how many dissidents of my stripe were just getting absolutely, like I read a thing, I remember reading something about one of the, like after Charlottesville, one of the marchers at Charlottesville, how his father just denounced him and disowned him. And people were saying, yeah, right on, way to go, Dad. And I was thinking, how could a father do that to a son? It made me so angry. I could never do that to my kids, no matter what they espoused, no matter what they believed. I could never publicly go and denounce them and say, I disown them. I disown you. You're no longer my son. You're no longer my daughter. Never, ever, ever would I do something like that. And what I didn't realize, what I didn't think about enough, what I wasn't thankful enough about, was that my own mother never did that, and never even thought to do that. I mean, no matter what, even if I had been an actual Nazi, she wouldn't have disowned me. I know that. Because I know that parents who love their children don't do that. I'm sorry for getting choked up. Emotions are still raw right now. And again, I don't want to be self-indulgent here, but I just feel this is something important to share with y'all. Maybe some of y'all will think it's cringe. I don't know. You're free to if you want. But to me, I think this is something important to share. So, my mother, even though she lived, and my father too, but it's my mother who's passing, we're mourning right now. My mother lived at a time like the present, where those who occupy the liberal persuasion are encouraged to think not only that they are right about everything, but that anyone who differs with them is beyond the pale and probably the worst kind of person you can think of. This is the atmosphere we've been living in. We've been choking in for the last, for the last decade or so, but definitely for the last 5 years, and definitely since 2020. Holy fuck. And we had differences about 2020. My parents were both very, very big on, taking precautions and so forth. And I was like Naomi Wolf. I thought, y'all know how I feel about all that 2020 stuff. But even through that, she never disowned me, never thought to disown me. That's a mother's love. And I thank my mother for loving me like that. And I want to love my own kids like that. And if you have kids, you should love them like that. What do I mean? Do I mean unconditionally? Yeah, I guess so. I guess the word unconditional gets bandied around a lot. I don't know if if your kid does something really heinous, then yeah, I guess you still have to love them. You have to love him or her. Sorry, not them. Um, um, or them if there's more than one. Um, but anyway, yeah. So I thank God for my mom, even though it seems like kind of a, oh, thanks you so much for not shunning me. It seems like a small thing. It seems like a small favor, but in our day, it's not a small favor. She was a truly loving soul. She had great compassion. She faced her own death with dignity and without a shred of fear. She was ready. She knew what was coming. She knew it was what was going to happen, and she was ready. And she finished her life as a loving mother to me, her only child. She didn't shun me. She wouldn't have shunned me even if I was the worst of the worst. You know, the worst of the worst, according to the ideological rulers of the day. I know that with all my heart. So I thank my mom. I thank my mom for loving me like a mother should love her son. And to everyone, I'm sorry again. I'm not usually comfortable being this emotional, but it's an emotional event, and I can't just ignore it. I mean, it happened. It just happened. It happened today. She died today. This is not something This is not something I plan to make a running theme on this channel. You know, but I just had to mention it because I think it would be doing my mother a disservice if I didn't mention it. That's all. Thanks everybody for listening. Sorry I'm such a little crybaby bitch, but hey, my mom just died, so cut me some slack. All right, I'm sure you can. I'm sure most of you can. Maybe not all of you, but that's it. Thank you, and God bless.